Damian Barling joining us.
There
now
is no
for the
replacement for Buddy Hield.
Damian, Doug McDermott to the Pacers. Your thoughts?
No, that's big time. Yeah, I mean that puts them up there with the Celtics and the
puts them in the running,
Cleveland
doesn't
Cavaliers. And well, all kidding aside, I mean, good for the Pacers. They're continuing to try to get better. The Knicks are continuing to try to get better. Like they might feel like that conference is open, especially with the way that Joe.
Yeah, I totally agree there.
Joe could be, Joel Embiid being out for the season is very realistic, despite the timeline that they're giving us. Good for those Eastern Conference teams for trying to pounce on this opportunity.
Yeah, Boston's a huge question mark in the playoffs. Milwaukee is maybe or maybe not.
Bad vibes in Milwaukee right now.
Really tough. Really
bad
tough
vibes in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
right now.
and the Philadelphia thing.
And I don't know that I would turn to Patrick Beverley when my vibes are bad.
Culture setter.
Yeah, I don't know that I would do that. I don't know that I get Doc likes him, but I don't know that I would do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you.
Yeah. Maybe get Austin Rivers in there too.
I don't know why everyone hates Austin Rivers. It's one of the strangest things to me. Like it feels
I don't want to say
like
I love him, but
the entire league dislikes him. Like the entire league dislikes him.
You listen to his podcast at all? No. His podcast is good. It's called Off Guard.
I've
heard that.
He almost decapitated me with a seat cushion one time. So there is that. Do
you think that's why there's league wide?
No.
Yeah, that guy almost took out James Ham. I can't stand that guy.
James Ham of the Insiders?
And Sam Amick. It was almost both of us. It was almost a deep.
Sam Amick is a treasure.
Dang,
yeah, it was almost a double decapitation right there in the corner.
Man,
it did hit a lady in the face and scratched her corneas and knocked her contacts out, and like she was down. The guy behind us ducked. He saw it coming too.
Good for him.
Was able to avoid it. The Atlanta Hawks are keeping guard DeJounte Murray, according to Adrian Wojnarowski.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Unless someone calls in the next 13 minutes and changes their mind.
Yeah.
I just the Hawks, and this has been laid out multiple times, but the Hawks just have are in a better spot if they wait for the offseason to trade DeJounte. And that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think so. And even if you make I don't think that team is going anywhere. Like they're like a way worse version of the Pacers. Like they can score a bunch of points, but very literally can't do nothing else. It's a construction. It's a constructed roster that I've hated for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't understand that team. I didn't understand it. Salute, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know how they did that. I feel like what we're seeing now is far more indicative of who they are as a basketball team than what we saw the year that they were successful.
Let's get to the Kings moves or lack of moves. I yesterday I get why they're not going to do anything, or why I think they're not going to do anything. Mm-hmm. They're going to play this out with this roster and go into the offseason knowing what they have. What do they have with Harrison Barnes? What do they have with Kevin Huerter? Hopefully get another look at them in the playoffs, and then assess what you want to look like in the next 3 to 5 years. Mm-hmm. But that was before you see every team around them. Dallas going and making moves. Mm-hmm. Phoenix going and making moves.
Yeah.
Even
OKC making
a move.
Yeah.
You see so many teams in the West going and trying to get better, particularly the two teams right around the Kings, Phoenix and Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
They're gunning for that last playoff spot, and the Kings are going, we'll see. We'll see what we got here.
Mm-hmm.
That's disappointing to me.
It is, but it's compounded by the fact they lost to the Detroit Pistons last night.
Yeah.
I think they beat the Pistons last night. I don't think anyone's jumping for joy today. I think the vibe, the feeling is a little bit different. The vibes are a little bit different. Like you're 6-2 in your last 8 games, and you feel differently about it, right? You have a little bit more confidence in Harrison Barnes. You have a little bit more confidence in Kevin Huerter. I love what I saw from Davion Mitchell last night. I've actually liked what I've seen from Davion during the stretch that Mike Brown has allowed him to play basketball more times than I haven't. So I think, you just take care of business at home last night. You feel a little bit more confident about this team and just getting to a certain place. Now, you could talk about being eliminated in the first round or different things like that. The fact is that that's probably what we're talking about no matter what. Mm-hmm. If your wish list was Kyle Kuzma or Jeremy Grant, I think this season we're still talking about the same thing. We're talking about if a team hits their shots, meaning the Sacramento Kings, not their opponents, because their opponents are really good at it. If the Sacramento Kings hit their shots in the playoffs, they could potentially win a first-round series. When the defense ramps up in the second round and moving on, well, then that's a different story, and we'll see what they could do.
We do have a trade. The Milwaukee Bucks are trading Robin Lopez to the Sacramento Kings.
Wow.
Lopez is expected to be waived and become a free agent.
So they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything.
They've done it. The Sacramento Kings have made a move.
They were able to get something in exchange for basically the corpse of Robin Lopez.
I love good for Slamson that Robin Lopez isn't going to be around though.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got beef with mascots.
Yes.
I love the idea that Monty McNair's like, fine, you want me to make a move? Hey, let's go get Robin Lopez. Waive him. All right, next. I love that idea.
Yeah, but the problem is it takes 72 hours to waive a player. If you would have done this like a week ago and started making some of these moves a week ago, you could have collected more assets.
So what's the goal here?
Well, the goal today was they got something. They might have got $1 million. They might have got a second round draft pick. They got something in order to take on Robin. Yeah, the Bucks are sending cash in the deal.
Oh.
So Robin Lopez is probably a league minimum player making $2.6 million or $3.8 million, whatever. And you probably got a couple extra $1 million to do this deal, or $1.5 million. And just like, okay, got to at least. Can
$1.5 million defend the three?
Yeah.
No.
It's
no dice.
Not with a Kings uniform on.
You know what? I'm intrigued to see what does his team look like the day after the trade deadline, because I think that's going to be a big topic of discussion. Did the
when
Kings
they play the Denver Nuggets on the second night of a back-to-back?
Yeah, but did the Kings go out here and showcase players down the stretch, and then after the deadline's over, is Mike Brown going to mix things up, or is this who it is?
So I'll tell you emphatically, if that's the case, I have a major issue with Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Who I've rode with from day one.
I would
the
agree.
Second his name came up as a potential candidate for this job.
Yep.
I don't think that's the case, to be clear. But if it is, I have a big, big problem with Mike Brown.
I also have a big.
You're either
problem
coaching to win games or you're not.
That's it. And I would have a big problem with the Kings overall. Like if the trade deadline passes and they're all of a sudden like, oh yeah, hey, I'm actually going to try now on defense. I'm going to do what the coaches want me to do now that I know I'm not getting traded.
Well, I don't think
trust that.
Yeah,
I don't trust that.
I don't think that's a thing. I don't think the trade deadline, the looming trade deadline, I don't think that played a part in what we saw last night. What we saw from the Sacramento Kings was Sacramento Kings basketball in 2023, 2024.
That's it.
It's all over the place.
Yeah. Oh no.
They are the picture of inconsistency.
I agree 100%, but I also think that there are players on this roster that may be playing or playing more minutes because there's potential trade interest.
I don't believe that. I absolutely refuse to believe that. But you're right. We'll find out. But man, my tone will absolutely change if that's the case.
Who do you think? Who though?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I would say this: like when you are a head coach of a team and you're part of a franchise, and a franchise, if you want to have a working relationship with a general manager, you have to be on the same page. And if a general manager says, "Hey, I don't think it's going to cost you games, but I need you to play player X over player Y for a handful of games to make sure people out there know," that stuff happens.
You can't sell me
all
on that.
the time.
You can't sell me on that.
It
I
happens
don't
all the
believe
time,
it.
though.
I don't believe that it does.
No.
What I look at go. Sorry, go ahead, David.
No, you go ahead. James is pissing me off.
I just wonder when I look at the Kings box score from last night. Okay, the trade deadline has passed. Okay. Is Harrison Barnes not playing anymore?
No, I think all we're really talking about is Davion, right? We can't be talking about anybody else.
And he was arguably their best player last night, second best player.
He was fantastic.
Okay. I'm not going to say he wasn't strong, but no, I think that there are other players that we've seen play over the last week. I mean, Kessler Edwards all of a sudden magically appears and plays.
But that's what. But see that. But my issue with all this is that's what Mike does, and it's weird. Yeah. No, like I always use the line that Mike Brown is hilarious. He's just going to play Chris Duarte for 2.5 minutes and then never look at him again. Then he's going to play Kessler Edwards in the second half. Why, James?
It should be.
Who knows? Vibes. I don't know.
Edwards got 9 minutes in a blowout against Cleveland and then 15 in that win over Indiana.
Yeah.
And he played well versus Indiana. Right. Like, am I wrong? Yeah.
No, I thought Kessler played well.
And I think that's how Mike coaches sometimes. Is sometimes he tries to find a guy and he'll. I mean, it was clear, and I don't mean like when Chris Duarte came in for those 2 minutes, it was like this isn't it, and like it was clear in those 2 minutes, this ain't it. He went to Kessler in the second half, and it was much better.
Yeah, but I'm not going to fault Mike Brown for giving Chris Duarte 2 minutes and then looking at him and going, "Oh, that's not it."
I'm not either, which is why I don't think he's showcasing players. It's why I don't think this team is showcasing players.
Do we want to just take this up to the trade deadline at noon, or do you want to go right now to make sure you're on for noon?
It's your show.
Well, no, it's going to be your show though, which is why I'm asking you.
Well, I think we actually have to break before the hour, don't we?
I think so.
Isn't that so? Let's do
probably
that.
Okay.
I think that's the one thing we actually have to do is to get your last break in for the inside.
A lot of reaction coming up to the trade deadline next on ESPN.
You guys can stay if you want to. We vibing, we talking.
D'Lo and Kenny coming up next.